The Sterling Group's quarterly business meeting was always an exercise in family politics, but today they'd outdone themselves. I stood in the doorway of the main conference room, watching my Uncle Richard arrange nameplates around the massive mahogany table. "Oh, Olivia," he said, barely glancing up. "The coffee station needs restocking. And make sure the real clients have fresh water." I smoothed down my simple navy suit, a bespoke Burberry that they'd assume was off the rack, and thought about the irony of the situation. About the documents in my briefcase that would change everything. The real clients? I asked mildly, knowing exactly what was coming. "You know," my cousin James cut in, adjusting his flashy Rolex. "The ones who actually matter. The ones who make Sterling Group what it is. Not some small-time tech startup founder playing at business." If they only knew that my small-time tech startup had revolutionized artificial intelligence and was now worth billions. That the mysterious MK Industries they'd been desperately courting for a $50 million investment was actually mine. One of many companies I controlled through a complex web of shell corporations. "Of course," I said quietly, moving toward the back of the room. "I'll just sit here out of the way." "Actually," my Aunt Patricia intervened, her voice dripping with false concern, "maybe it's better if you wait outside. This meeting is for, well, successful people only. We wouldn't want you to feel uncomfortable." I thought about the email I'd received that morning, confirming that MK Industries had acquired another 10% of Sterling Group's shares through various intermediaries. We now owned 45% of their company, not that they knew it. "But I'm a shareholder," I protested, playing my part perfectly. "Even if it's just the small stake my father left me." 2%, James snorted. "Hardly worth mentioning. Besides, we're meeting with MK Industries today. Their CEO is finally sending a representative. We can't have you embarrassing us." The irony almost made me laugh. They'd been trying to get a meeting with MK Industries for months, desperate for the investment that would save their failing company from the financial mess my cousins had created. "James is right," Uncle Richard declared. "Wait in the lobby. If we need coffee, we'll have Sandra call you." I gathered my things, catching sight of my reflection in the conference room's glass wall. At 32, I looked nothing like the tech mogul they thought they were meeting. That was by design. After my father died 5 years ago, leaving me his small stake in Sterling Group, I'd learned the value of being underestimated. "The MK representative should be here any minute," Aunt Patricia announced, checking her expensive watch. Everyone looked sharp. If only they knew that their precious MK Industries was just one piece of my empire. That while they'd been mocking my startup, I'd built something far greater than Sterling Group would ever be. I settled into a lobby chair, opening my laptop to check the markets. Sterling Group stock had dropped another 5% since morning. Their revolutionary new product line was flopping, and rumors of financial troubles were spreading. Sandra, Uncle Richard's secretary, hurried past with fresh coffee. She gave me a sympathetic smile. She'd always been kind to me, even when the family wasn't. Little did she know that her kindness would be rewarded very soon. My phone buzzed with a message from my assistant. "Everything's in place. The lawyers have confirmed the paperwork. Should I proceed with the plan?" I typed back a quick, "Yes," just as James stormed into the lobby, his face red with frustration. "The MK representative is late," he snapped. "This is completely unprofessional." I checked my watch. Exactly 9:30 a.m. Right on schedule. "Maybe they're stuck in traffic," I offered innocently. "What would you know about important business meetings?" he sneered. "Go make yourself useful and check if the pastries are fresh." I stood up, straightening my jacket. "Actually, James, I think your MK representative just arrived." "Really?" He spun around, searching the lobby. "Where?" "Right here," I said softly, pulling out my MK Industries business card, the one I'd never had to use until now. "Though I believe you were expecting someone more successful?" Before he could process what was happening, Sandra burst through the conference room doors, her face flushed with excitement. "Mr. Sterling, the MK Industries client. They're here. Our $50 million investor is here." I stepped forward, enjoying the way James's face drained of color as realization dawned. "Yes," I said clearly, loud enough for everyone in the conference room to hear. "Yes, I am." The silence in the Sterling Group's conference room was deafening. My Uncle Richard had dropped his Mont Blanc pen, leaving an ugly blue streak across his pristine presentation folder. Aunt Patricia's perfectly maintained smile had cracked, revealing the panic beneath. This is some kind of joke, James finally managed, his voice higher than usual. You can't be MK Industries. They're a multi-billion-dollar technology conglomerate. I walked to the head of the conference table, the seat they'd never let me take before, and opened my briefcase. MK Industries is just one part of my portfolio, I said, laying out documents one by one. Though I must say your desperation to secure our investment made due diligence quite simple. Due diligence? Uncle Richard's face had gone from red to pale. What are you talking about? I clicked a button on my laptop and the conference room screen came to life. Financial charts filled the display, Sterling Group's real numbers, not the polished versions they showed investors. Your company is hemorrhaging money, I stated calmly. The new product line that James claimed would revolutionize the market? It's a failure. You've lost $30 million in the last quarter alone. Aunt Patricia stood up, her designer bracelet jangling nervously. How did you get these numbers? These are confidential. Are they? I smiled, thinking of all the late nights I'd spent building my empire while they thought I was playing entrepreneur. Like the confidential board meetings where you discussed diluting my father's shares after his death? Or the private conversations about pushing me out completely. Sandra appeared at the door with a stack of folders. Miss Kennedy, the other board members have arrived for the emergency meeting you called. Other board members? James sputtered. You can't call a board meeting. You only own 2%. Actually, I began distributing the folders. MK Industries and its subsidiary companies now own 45% of Sterling Group. Add that to my father's 2% and well, I think you can do the math. The board members filed in looking confused and concerned. Many of them I'd never met in person. All our previous dealings had been through intermediaries and shell companies. Ladies and gentlemen, I addressed the room. I'm Olivia Kennedy, CEO of MK Industries and majority shareholder of Sterling Group. We're here today to discuss some significant changes in leadership. This is ridiculous, Uncle Richard exploded, standing up. You're nothing but a failed startup founder. We've been dealing with MK Industries for months. No, I corrected him, you've been dealing with my representatives. Did you never wonder what MK stood for? My father's name was Michael Kennedy. He taught me everything I know about business, including how to recognize when someone's trying to steal your legacy. My phone buzzed with an incoming message. The press release had gone live. MK Industries announces acquisition of controlling interest in Sterling Group. James lunged for his phone, his hands shaking as he read the news. Aunt Patricia had sunk back into her chair, her perfect posture finally breaking. But your little startup, she whispered. Your office in that cheap building downtown. A front, I said simply. One of many. My real operations occupy 3 floors in the Morgan building. You know, the one James tried and failed to get office space in last year. The board members were reviewing the documents I'd provided, their expressions shifting from shock to understanding as they saw the true state of Sterling Group's finances. You've been watching us this whole time, Uncle Richard realized, his voice hollow. Planning this. Planning. I walked to the window looking out over the city skyline. Oh, Uncle Richard. I've been building something. Something far bigger than you could imagine while you were all busy mocking my small startup. Sandra reappeared with more coffee, this time placing a cup at my place at the head of the table. She'd known all along, I realized. She'd been my inside source, keeping me informed of every mistake, every misstep my family made. Now, I turned back to the stunned room. Shall we discuss the future of Sterling Group? I believe some significant changes are in order. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the conference room as I outlined my plans for Sterling Group's future. The board members leaned forward, increasingly engaged as they realized I wasn't just their biggest investor. I was their best chance at survival. The numbers don't lie, I said, clicking through my presentation. Sterling Group's current management has lost $145 million in failed ventures over the past 3 years. My first act as majority shareholder will be a complete restructuring of the executive team. You can't just fire us, James interrupted, his earlier arrogance replaced by desperation. We're family. I paused the presentation, turning to face him directly. Family? Like when you told our biggest clients I was mentally unstable. Or when Uncle Richard tried to force me to sell my father's shares at a fraction of their worth. We were trying to protect the company, Aunt Patricia pleaded, her designer outfit suddenly seeming like a costume rather than armor. You were just a girl playing with computers. Just a girl. I clicked to the next slide. Let me show you what this girl built while you were all busy protecting the company into near bankruptcy. The screen filled with MK Industries' portfolio, dozens of successful tech companies, real estate holdings and investment ventures. My empire carefully constructed while they thought I was failing. Your annual revenue is $85 million with falling profits, I continued. MK Industries cleared $3.2 billion last quarter alone. So tell me, Aunt Patricia, who was really playing at business? The boardroom door opened and my assistant Claire entered with a stack of documents. The press is gathering downstairs, she reported. And Mr. Sterling's private banking records have arrived as requested. Uncle Richard's face went pale. Private banking records? Yes, I smiled coldly. The ones showing how you've been embezzling company funds to cover your gambling debts. Did you really think nobody would notice? The board members began muttering among themselves. James looked like he might be sick. Now, I continued, you have two options. Option 1. Resign quietly, sign the non-disclosure agreements, and walk away with your reputations relatively intact. Option 2. I turn these records over to the SEC and let them handle it. You destroy your own family? Aunt Patricia's voice cracked. Like you tried to destroy me? I opened a folder spreading out old emails and memos. Here's you, Aunt Patricia, telling the board I was emotionally unstable after my father's death. Here's James spreading rumors about my failed startup to our investors. And here's Uncle Richard, attempting to falsify documents to invalidate my shares. The room fell silent. Even the board members who had once supported them couldn't meet my eyes. You have 1 hour to decide, I announced, standing up. Claire will wait for your signatures on the resignation letters. As I turned to leave, James made one last desperate attempt. The clients will never accept this. They trust us, our family name. Your family name? I laughed softly. Check your phones. The press release about MK Industries' true ownership went live 10 minutes ago. Your clients are already calling, not to support you, but to schedule meetings with me. Right on cue, phones around the table began buzzing. The news was spreading. Tech prodigy reveals identity. MK Industries founder takes control of family company. I walked to the door then paused. Oh, and Sandra? Uncle Richard's secretary looked up nervously. You're promoted. Effective immediately. Your loyalty to the company, the real company, not their illusion of it, deserves recognition. An hour later, I sat in my real office at MK Industries, watching the sun set over the city. The resignation letters had been signed. The press had their story. Sterling Group was mine. My phone hadn't stopped buzzing with messages from family members. Some angry, some pleading, all too late. The transition team is ready, Claire reported. And your father's old office at Sterling Group has been cleared out. Where would you like his portrait hung? I smiled, touching the small photo on my desk. The last picture taken of my father and me standing in front of his startup that would become my empire.